from the back of the E&J Medical Center here in Gunpa City on the LPMC back road. Good evening and a pleasant welcome to Maggie News Flow. Maggie News Flow is a 45-minute news presentation that captures major happenings in Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our one world. In today's presentation, my name is Zika and Vlule. But just before our news, we update you about our today's scripture. And it comes from the book of Joshua 1 verse 9. It says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." And so this verse is reminding us about faith, about strength and divine presence. And it was spoken by God to Joshua as he prepared to lead the children of Israel and the Israelites into the promised land after Moses' death. And so this verse is about encouragement, and it is not just about encouragement, it is also a direct command from God and strength. It also tells us that in every difficult times, God is there for us. So we should not lose hope. We should always be courageous, knowing that Jesus and God, our Creator, is there for us. And so it is a call to trust in God's presence and power, whether in leadership, in personal growth, or in every new beginnings. We should have the courage and faith that God is with us in everything we do. It is about having no fear that you will be harmed whenever or once you have God mounting you. And so with that, we go to our news. Remember, our scripture is coming from the book of Joshua 1 verse 9. It is telling us to be courageous, to be strong, and having faith in God in every difficulty we face in life. Let's now go over this break. We'll come back. We'll bring you our news. And so welcome back to Maggie News Flow. And in our headlines, Maggie FM receives motorcycles to boost outreach efforts. Carter Center calls for increased government support for school mental health. Nobel's second floor donates assorted items to Louis Arthur Graham School of Law. And away from Liberia, one dead. It shocking in Uganda's new Ebola outbreak. Those were the news read in headlines. Now keep tuned as we bring you this and many other developments. Journalists Eve Gono and Philip Banga have been remanded at the Kakata Central Prison on the orders of Maggie County Attorney Deborah Wilson. The decision follows a reported failure to produce a woman of whom they have served as guarantors. Gono is the Upper Maggie correspondent of Liberia Broadcasting System, while Philip Bana serves as public relations officer for Kakata City and is also a reporter of Classic FM. However, the journalists argue that they were never given prior notice to turn the woman over. They were on Monday after long while covering the opening of the February turn of the 13th Judiciary Circuit Court. Despite investigations from key stakeholders, including Kakata City Mayor Eddie Bangawo, CB, and Representative Emmanuel Yah, County Attorney Wilson remanded frame in her decision, insisting that the journalist be jailed. The situation has been widely viewed as an attack on press freedom, while critics arguing that Anthony Wilson's instance on detaining the journalist suggests a personal vendetta against the media in Maggie County. When contacted, Anthony Wilson stated that the journalist had been reportedly instructed by the police defense counsel to produce the woman but failed to comply. She mandated that their arrest and subsequent detention are necessary, adding that they will be released as soon as they present the woman for whom they had stood as guarantors. Mana Rosterling Suakoko Dennis, the suspended president or CEO of the National Oil Company of Liberia, NOCA, appeared before the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, the LACC, on Monday to face allegations of financial misconduct, including the controversial purchase of an inflated 75,000 SUV and misuse of public funds. The LACC's Monitoring and Investigation Department has launched an in-depth probe into financial irregularities reportedly committed during Dennis's tenure between July and December of 2024. Accompanied by her lawyer, Councilor Julieta Mazakwe, Mana Dennis arrived at the LACC headquarters alongside the two vehicles central to the inquiry. President Joseph Nima Bwaga earlier ordered Dennis to surrender all NOCA assets pending the outcome of the investigation. Following initial questioning, plans were made to transfer the vehicles to NOCA's headquarters in compliance with the president's directive. However, Dennis and her legal team directed to the law firm instead, speaking controversy. The vehicles were eventually returned to the LACC compound, where they will remain as evidence in the ongoing probe. The LACC has assured the public of transparency and pledged to release further updates as the investigation unfolds. As classes resume for the new semester at the University of Liberia, the numerous second floor NSF has generously donated an array of essential items to the Louis Arthur Grant School of Law, aimed at creating a more conducive learning environment for new students. This benevolent gesture underscores the organization's commitment to academic excellence and student welfare. The donated items include assorted toiletries, trash cans for classrooms, 5 white bowls for instructional use, and 2 water dispensers to ensure students have access to safe drinking water while on campus. This thoughtful contribution highlights NSF's dedication to alleviating some of the challenges that students are facing in their studies. Presenting the item to the LAGSL administration, Nomeo brother Joshua Max Minia, present as president of NSF and a third-year law student, expressed his enthusiasm. Maminia further emphasized the importance of collaborating with the Law Student Association, LAWSA, and the administration to bring about positive transformation at the premier law school in the country. Speaking on behalf of the students, LA, that LOSWA President Atiza Jones, however, expressed heartfelt gratitude for the support and assured that the items will be used for their intended purposes. Receiving the donation on behalf of the acting dean and management team of the law school, Dr. Nivida Riggs described the support as a noble humanitarian gesture. Dr. Riggs also called on the students and organizations with the capacity to lead a helping hand to the law school to do so unwaveringly. Established in 2019 at the Louis Arthur Grant School of Law, the number second floor, companies donated law students and lawyers committed to service, charity, academic excellence, and contributing to legacies. Their continuous support serves as a beacon of hope and a source of motivation for others to contribute to the advancement of the law school. The Carter Center has urged the government of Liberia to prioritize mental health in schools, emphasizing the need for increased budgetary support and policy integration. The call was made over the weekend during a 3-day training workshop on incorporating the mental health manual into the pre-service teaching training curriculum, held from February 6 to 8, 2025 in Maggie County. The workshop brought together key stakeholders, including teachers, academic deans from the Kakata Rural Teacher Training Institute, KRTTI, Zweju Teacher Training Institute, ZRTTI, and Webo Teacher Training Institute, WTTI. Also in attendance were representatives from the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, school-based mental health clinicians, among others. Madam Leona Swari, project officer of for second the school mental health at the Carter Center mental health program, stressed the importance of government ownership in sustaining mental health innovations in schools. Swari noted that while these efforts have been impactful, sustainability remains a concern. She emphasized that enabling mental health education within the teacher training institutes is a strategic move to ensure long-term success. Swari urged the government to allocate funding for mental health programs, particularly at the school level. She also stressed the need for mental health to be incorporated into various educational policies, including early childhood development and inclusive education programs. Mr. Swari, Mr. Soliwa Solomon Jala, Senior Director of Teachers Education at the Ministry of Education, reaffirmed the ministry's commitment to integrating mental health education into the teaching curriculum. According to Jala, 10 mental health related topics have been incorporated into the child development module for C certificate teachers. Those topics include an introduction to mental health, its importance, and strategies for reorganizing early warning signs. The workshop participants, including school-based mental health clinicians and parent-teacher association members, echoed calls to sustain government commitment. They emphasized that prioritizing mental health in schools will help areas that address issues such as bullying, substance abuse, and violence. With mental health now integrated into the national school curriculum and teacher training programs, stakeholders are hopeful that the government will strengthen its commitment by providing the necessary funding and policy backing to ensure lasting impact. As mental health awareness continues to grow in Liberia, the Carter Center and other stakeholders have set the foundation for a more inclusive and supportive education system. However, the success of these efforts depends on the government's willingness to prioritize mental health as a fundamental human right and allocate the necessary resources to sustain these initiatives. The president of Sierra Leone, Julius Manda Bao, has called on the armed forces of Liberia to be a protector of peace and democracy. Delivering the keynote address at the 68th Armed Forces Day celebration, President Bao urged the armed forces to remain out of politics and their loyalty to the people, the Constitution, and the democratic institution that form the foundation of this great nation. President Bao, a retired armed general in the Sierra Leone military, has led his country both as a military leader and a civilian president. While in the army, he served as a peacekeeper in Liberia during Liberia's civil war. In his address at the Barclay Training Center in Monrovia on Tuesday, he said Liberia's history has been shaped by challenges that tested the resilience and dedication of the country, but the armed forces have stood their ground. The Liberian Army was first established as the Liberia Frontier Force in 1908, then transformed to the Armed Forces of Liberia in 1957. The Army has a rich past within the middle in politics. On April 2, 1980, a group of 17 soldiers stormed the executive marshal and killed the president, William Aratorot, and overthrew his government. Several high government officials were rounded up and executed by fire squad following a kangaroo trial. Many historians and others say this was the main reason of the Liberian Civil War. 9 years later, the war lasts for 14 years and claimed the lives of an estimated 250,000 people and sent thousands more to exile. President Bao urged the AFL to be an army that serves not only as a protector of national sovereignty but also a pillar of democratic governance. He said history has shown us that when the military aligns with democracy values, nation prospers. When it dissades, society filters your commitment to professionalism, respect for human rights, and collaboration. Liberia, like its neighbor Sierra Leone, experienced a devastating civil war that culminated the entire country. The event was graced by President Joseph Boakai, senior government officials, the diplomatic corps, and top military personnel. Former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was also in attendance. And finally, from the local and national development, Maggie FM has received 2 brand new that's Black Exalt Motorcycle TVS to enhance its operation and extend its outreach program. The donation was made by Maggie Foundation International through its program coordinator, Mr. Abraham and Arthur, on behalf of the foundation's Chief Executive Officer, CEO, Pastor Colinus Nyamator. Speaking at the handover ceremony following a successful meeting with Maggie FN's time, Mr. Abraham M. Arthur emphasized that the motorcycles are intended to support the Christian-based radio station in spreading God's word more effectively, particularly in hard-to-reach communities. Receiving a donation on behalf of the station, Mr. Zika and Hudude expressed deep gratitude to the CEO and the entire Maggie Foundation International team. He assured that the motorcycles will be used for the intended purpose, helping the station fulfill its mission to evangelism and community service. The donation marks a significant boost for Maggie FN's outreach efforts, reinforcing its commitment to delivering faith-based programming and community engagement in Nima County and beyond. We now go for this break. When we come back with John Stenergy Kawe, who will bring us the simplified version of our news. Ahead of this presentation is our foreign development. But let's go for this break. We'll come back with John Stenergy Kawe for the simplified version of Maggie News Flow. This break.
Good evening, our good people out there. This is the Maggie FM Simple English News. The group they call Cattle Center, they now tell the government, they begging the government to help the people who get a hair problem in school. Some of the people that get a hair problem, sometimes you look at them, they say the people looking zesty. They're not looking zesty, and the people that can take in a hard thing there, where can smoke the thing there, where they not to their say again. They call them the mental health people. So the group they call Cattle Center say that the government must make sure they must do everything so that the people that learning to can be there. They must try hard in all the school then. They must put something there that will be helping the other people to be part of the training. They say it will not be good for the government to turn their back on the people, because some of the children they are born with hair problem, they're not looking good in here. in here. They few days they had a workshop in Kakata in Maggie County, February 6th and to the 8th. They say they meeting a high. They brought plenty people together. They brought people, they teach them from Kakata, the place what they call the Kakata Rural Teacher Training Area, the Zwedru Teacher Training Area. Then they get the Webble Teacher Training Area. All of them were there. Then they get the people who also control the school business in Liberia. Then they get the parent, then BB people, because the group they call the PTA, they say the parent and teacher, then B people, they were all in a team. Then the people who also take care of children, women, and people to protect them, and then the people that are working in a mental health clinic, all of them were part of the team. And say the big person they call Liana Soiree, who is the head for the mental people at the cattle center, they say that it is good. She really say that the government must take control over the mental health business in Liberia. They must make sure that the teaching for the mental health people it be in school. When they do that, it will help the people. They must not put it down. And then the other man they call Mr. Siwala Simon Jala Sion, the director for they say the director for the teacher then learning business, say it's true that the government is doing everything to put it there. He said because of that the government now put 10 learning thing there where the people that get mental problem will be there. They say they now add it into the school or curriculum. That thing where the teacher then can be looking at to teach, say they now put it there. So the student then, the people who get mental that head problem, they will be able to go there and learn from there. So the government must try hard and the mental people only are learning there. They must add their own thing they will be learning. They must add it there. That they will get there for this evening. They want to say the radio station that talking to you now, Maggie FM. Yesterday they gave them two new motorbike. The one they call the play what they smoking part, they call the exhaust. They say the black exhaust TVS motorbike. They get two motorbike to Maggie Radio. Then they say the motorbike they give it so that Maggie FM will be able to reach to all the other area then where hard to go, so that they will be able to reach there, so that they can be able to work with the church people, the Christian people, and make sure that they will be talking on behalf of the people. Yesterday the person that brought the motorbike to give it to Maggie radio station, they call him Mr. Abraham Alpha, and he did that because the big person for the Maggie foundation, they say the big man who the founder, the man is in America, they call the man Pastor Colina Nyamato. He Abraham Alpha gave a motorbike on behalf of the mayor, because the mayor, so he was speaking for the mayor yesterday. He said the motorbike must be used for the thing. And then when Mr. Alpha finished giving all the motorbike, he said that the motorbike it must be used to make sure that the Christian-based radio, the radio station is for Christian people. It must be used to spread, to carry the God word all over the way it's supposed to be carried. And then at that time, the man who was representing the radio station, they call him Mr. Zika Nyanvrude. He say, my people, we thank you people too much for the radio, for the motorboard, because the motorboard it will really help us to reach to the places where we're not able to reach with our phone like that. And then so now to pay motorbike to go to some of the area it hard. But we want to show you that the motorbike what you're giving to the radio station, we will use it for the thing where you're giving it to us to use it for that it there. Then the one year is say the president for Sierra Leone, they call Julia Mada Bell. He say the soldier then will get in Liberia, they must be the one to protect peace and law in their country. He say he was talking to the soldier then today. And you know today that the army people be there. So he was talking to them, they call him to come and talk to the army there in Liberia. He said because the army, when they are not loyal to the people, they will become loyal to the president, and not good. They are not there to become people that are working for the president, be working for everybody. He said because the army people, the reason why you were talking there is that the army, when they go after that, they kill President William Arotobo, and then from that place, the Soya people went again and killed 13 presidents. He said that because of they killing and all the wrong thing that they want that made it Liberia war to stay long. Since April 12, 1980. The people that called and said PRC, they killed Tobo. He said from that time the war entered. The war entered and it killed almost 250,000 people. It take their life. There is plenty people again in different countries to go to. They say so the army now, there will be people who will be there to guard their people, to protect their people. They must start evil from coming to them. That the one will get for you people this evening in our simple English. Now, let me come back to our people now in Mano. Okay, undano katwe. Kakotanu wa ye ezeka aben ko zovore ezewula de weka agele ko zasu akibe a capital do avosi sese age pe age kire ka ke gaga kayi ke gaga e kazo do mo popo e kakre age ye ke katu de ke kazo e daziza age bi ka wala le lo ke kape de no fe de ka de lo yamo ayi ba de to ke ye ke kwatu no fe de mi kwa wala mi kare kwa wala kun kwa zonga ke kwatu apie ye ke kwatu pe no fe de kwa me e gaga zudam eke kwa kle bi kwa wala da oke kwa pe de no fere kwa do ye de oke kwa pie ye kwa tuo kwa lo gba kwa won le dipe age zekere yera ko redo le we kapie we bro le we kapie plebe yera ami gbodo mi ne ogere Abraham afa le abende Maggie me be ozi desimi donka la bi azekrie age kere Maggie de aredo le be azi gbùgbù la me ogare Maggie Foundation International be le Maggie radio la awibe age kede yira onu popo pi te ka popo pi do na ka quiver ogare Black Exalt TV onu akayira de wa no radio be de we gblo mi kede de wa no de yira wa ge kede mi enu popo ira ka ogare Abraham afa enu aka ke edo da mi benzi le da mi abe ogare Colina Pastor Colina Mato de Maggie Foundation be le aya eki monde abende ami bukada ya kuba kribe ben le afa be enunto ale da ke epo ekria ano weblo eki ade age yira ano ade age kede popo le ko nokale be ko nokale ke ka fan wa ke ka wura de we ke age de no fifu mo de le ka ba be an ke ka boy ke egbun ka ke ka boy ke kalo gbin no simo ke wura de we ke ke gbumo de ka ke egbo mi simo ke abo mi abende wudi be adisi mi ka de ka mo le ewu gbo adisi mi ka de ka mo le ogare Mr. Zika nya vrude ben age Maggie mi akazu pogo bi kwa wa ble fin ko ta ko modo bo pie ke ko de ando age amu ye kazu pogo ke anu bia ko de anu ka bo ko ada ye pie ko ye bo ke aka de zinu da ye wole la mo ko ka ko ake aka age kazu Maggie mi akazu wen ke ko so gedi de ko kazu ko papaya be aye ze ben agekele gon aye aben ogade Julio Mada Bell le abende sreye aben ogare Lion be le abende azi pleasant kabe bi plembe wage ko soya vole o la bi azele o busu ya vokabe waben o wage kele o ben ozito dira dule eke pleka dule o dule ka wa gban ke mo o ben osi dule plenga ka wo kliwe lo wo keba ke o wen ke o wa pe ke pleasant de aben ego seveli ben wa so ke no ewonge soya for we pie enu agege de soya for de kala bia be ka ke niene kalo ka nye ke seremo en ka ka suke o seremian pie enwo pe ne se ka ka suke pie ka ke ye ka ke gri damiaka age bi agera bo ke de to ke wona e kede enu gri ka la bia zire de to ke gwan vodon o ke gwan vodon le sra pie de ka o lo ke pa le onu le Okay, de o gade 1980 be amene ga April be alepa efuno le pide ka onumo de o sa place de wuro aroto boda de wa zemu ka age kam de ogun igre wa se odo omia blues e penkun odo wa gigere wa mesa to mo de odo ka o dojiri mo obuda mo pa ka age akeya kam adu ekra mo gre amon mo labi aze gre no ziede emia wa un pide la vo sori yisi de ewure de emia wa blues e vo zen sere gbegbe yi olo okegba kede du le be sere gbegbe wa be ka age ye akekre yi be sere mekun ke so ya fo de o sere ya obe odo kida o nye ke sere mo ye aye kukle atole ya le aye zie ben agekere miala oben o si 14 cent mi ben agekere e wa do keba wa wunge government pie kere e miala oben o mu kle be ben wun gbe lamo le o pe ga mi enne bu ben o ye o mu kle be kale du ga no le oben o pe ga mi le o se me ben o wa di pe ka o gen le ka o pie gen kide be mi de be o mu kle be ya la mo me agemi e kle be la mo o government e de gon pie ya won ke gumine e o won tatan age ki la o zon suku be da me o ben o si permeta pe e ke ya ben wa do suku wa medan o ge no bo kede mi ga o won kre won na mo ke o kan o kwa o katan wa ge kede akọ kria e menele kwa ye kebe ale pe srado wa elo aka sra aka mo me o yakemo donke yakemo ke wa ke e magibi kakata wa kede yakemo akeya me ogo e school teacher for wa person pia lo gede kakata rural teacher training institute let's say aleya me gede Swedru teacher institute e be ogo ide member ogo wewo teacher training institute le onu kabo clear o miame ben mina ben de mina ben 14 na me wa mi bu ka de egban ka mina obe unkri o gbaduga ka mu me o gere madam Leona Soare da ben wa mi bu ka age kire da mu ke gume edege mia suwe ke omo won o si pe dan ya ada age kire di age kire bi ye mi ke ye wa o si permit na be de wa da suku da mo o sin o ka lo ba suku de no fere suku le government suku le obi o ka lo pia amo won ya ka zi obi lo person ka le o le aben o a person ko be o a debo o mi aben o medan obi o ke wa person o le clear edu edi agide pin ke won suwe ke o wa ke gume edu edi won na ben edu ke o si pedan ko ka ben o wa da ki be ba aben mi obi o permit na aben o clear me ko wan se me o kepe na ye ke o kan kwa ki awo clear go aye abe gare me so si wala senior jala le abene mi buka e ti ben wa permit an we me ara de agegede won ba ge de wo yi ka ko so we da mo amo won kwa loko die kwa kikan sre kwa kikan fundo da e pedon person ko be ba ke ni na oben o do ke person pia ben ke o ason o de ke abe o gwa o ye wa nye ti se we ke de ye wa nye permit an clear ka ben o do die wa person me o clear de agegede mi o ke oben o su gedi de o abe an su gedi de ke odo mi oben o yowo ke yin kada de oben o yowo ke mi oben clear de mo en suku de nse mo ke o mo ke o wa gi o de ke gume ben e gbagba agbumo de no de aye ko glesia asene yin pi ka kwon we ka ke male ogene stele won yen kawe gbegben gele da ro ka kwon we ka ke ma vosi ka pie ma ka tuzi.
The news in the simple Liberian English, and of course, the news in the Manon vernacular is a regular feature on Maggie News Flow. Just before we continue, remember our today's verse is coming from the book of Joshua 1 verse 19, reminding Christians and believers to be strong and courageous. And just before our foreign development, we bring you this final The Liberia Annual Conference of the United Methodist Church, the LAC or UMC, is facing a deepening crisis as the conference United Methodist Women, the CUMW, has publicly rejected the leadership of Bishop Samuel J. Kwayo Jr. The women's group accuses the bishop of supporting LGBTQ plus inclusion, regionalization, and governance reforms that they claim undermine the church's unity and long-standing traditions. In a strongly worded letter addressed to Bishop Kwanu, the CUMW denounced the decisions of the 2020-2024 General Conference, which redefined marriage, approved same-sex unions, and restricted church governance. The women accused the bishop of suppressing dissenting voices, unlawfully suspending clergy and lay members, and fostering division within the denomination. The women's group expressed strong opposition to what they describe as an imposed agenda that violates biblical principles. According to the CUMW, Bishop Kwame claimed the now United Methodists in Liberia the opportunity to discuss these contentious issues at a special occasion, thereby enforcing changes without board consultation. This latest revolt follows a growing schism within the church. Recently, the 72nd United Methodist Church formally served tasks with the UMC citing similar concerns with the denomination's stance to LGBTQ plus inclusion and governance reforms. The 72nd UMC's decision underscores an escalating divide as more congregations consider decidifying to uphold traditional biblical teachings. The UMC further accused Bishop Kwano of violating the 2016 and 2020-2024 Book of Disciplinary by arbitrarily suspending clergy and lay people, including district superintendent and vocal opponents of LGBTQ inclusion. Additionally, the women's group passed a vote of no confidence in conference lay leader Tobert Nyeswa, associate lay leader for Region 1 Teresa Devance, and associate lay leader for Region 3 Alison Pegard, accusing them of poor leadership and complicity in the bishop's alleged actions. The letter also criticized Bishop Kwano's handing of the conference Young Adult Fellowship, alleging that he attempted to unseat this leadership through orchestrated plans that ultimately failed. Furthermore, they demanded the dissociation of the legitimate board of ordained ministry, replacing it with what they describe as an illegitimate board designed to serve the bishop's interests. And now, to end this presentation, we bring you our foreign development. One dead, 8 sacked in Uganda's new Ebola outbreak. Uganda's health ministry has confirmed 9 Ebola cases in the country. Medical personnel were protected closely before handing vaccine fast during the launch of an Ebola trial vaccination campaign in Kampala, Uganda. The number of confirmed Ebola cases in Uganda has risen to 9, with 1 confirmed death, the country's Ministry of Health have said. In a statement late on Monday, the health ministry said that of the other new cases, 7 were being treated in a hospital in the capital Kampala, and 1 was being in a hospital in the eastern city of Mabi near the Kenyan border. The WHO says it died in suspected Marburg outbreak in Tanzania, once of spread end of the list. All 8 patients are in stable condition and 267 contacts have been confirmed of the confirmed cases have been placed under quarantine, the ministry added. Uganda declared an outbreak of the severe, often fatal viral infection late last month. The latest outbreak has driven by Sudan strain of the virus for which there is no approved vaccine. According to the World Health Organization (WHO), Ebola symptoms appear between 2 and 21 days after infection and can include fever, severe headache, muscle pain, fatigue, abdominal pain, diarrhea, vomiting, and bleeding from the nose, gums, ear, and eyes. As it is harshly infectious, patients have to be isolated and treated. And that's the news presentation on Maggie News Flow on this Tuesday, the 11th day of February 2025. Just before we go, we revisit our top developments. Maggie FM receives motorcycles to boost outreach efforts. Gather center calls for increased government support for school mental health. And Nobel second floor donates assorted items to Louis Arthur Grant School of Law. And away from Liberia, one dead, 8 sacking in Uganda's new Ebola outbreak. And that's the news presentation on Maggie News Flow. Many thanks to all of our contributors who make sure Maggie will come to you every evening beginning 8:30 to 9:15. Many thanks to the man Stanley W. Cowie who brought you the news, the simplified version of the special Liberian English, and of course news in the manner of my name is Victor, and good evening.
For the best in Christian broadcasting, this is Maggie's FM 90.5 MHz. For the best in Christian broadcasting, this is